Hi everyone, this is Glau with Teach Now, Module 6, and this is Unpacking MYP language acquisition, calling standards, but it's really the continuum and mostly the objectives as I'm using as they drive our units. And this is Spanish phase 2, it's a beginner phase, and students are grades 9 and 10 combined. Statement of inquiry for this unit is our actions contributed to the creation of a responsible and caring culture and sustainable social context. The key concept, culture, related concepts, meaning, context, purpose, global context, globalization, and sustainability. The MIP gives us objectives, and after these objectives, they have given us now continuum. And the continuum drives the objectives, the units, and they are they help us identify learning outcomes. And here are 7, but I have chosen 2 to work on these units, though I'm working basically all of them, but these are the 2 that I'm focusing. Understand and respond to simple spoken text. Communicate information containing relevant ideas and some details in a limited range of familiar situations. And we're talking about listening and speaking. So it's not just a conversation, but also listening and understanding a video, a TV show, or a short clip. So anything that is being watched is being viewed and can be just listening to the news or listening to someone speaking and then answering questions about what it was heard. So it's not just a conversation. And talking about the MIP, we have to talk about the assessment objectives. Everything is about the assessment objectives, and they have the assessment strands that with each criterion. So comprehending spoken and visual text is the one that I am using, and the C, which is A, and C, communicating in response to spoken and visual text. And criterion D, using language in spoken form. So A, comprehending spoken and visual text. Here is very clear. The verbs are there to identify. So if students are listening to a song, if they're watching a video, students will identify the basic facts, message, main ideas, supporting details. Of course, we have to explain to them what the basic facts are, what message and main ideas and supporting details. Recognize basic conventions. That's something that we have to work with students. What are the conventions if we're looking at an advertisement? So what are these conventions? What are the conventions of an advertisement? Engage with the spoken and visual text. That means what they understood, and they're going to talk about and give their opinion of what they've seen, or answer a question based on what they have seen, using data from the video, using data from what they've watched, or using data from what they heard. C, communicating in response to spoken text is, yes, they are communicating, they are speaking, responding appropriately to simple short phrases. And this is very important because the higher the phases, the level of language, the more this trend will change. It will go from simple short phrases to more complex. Interact. So interaction is here in this criterion. Interact in simple and rehearsed exchange. So students, only things that we have rehearsed, I'm assessing. So if the student wasn't able to answer to something that wasn't rehearsed, then that means that I shouldn't be assessing that. It's using verbal and non-verbal language. Use basic phrases to communicate ideas, feelings, and information on a variety of aspects of everyday topics, but here it will be based on the topic that we're studying in class. And communicate with a sense of audience. Knowing who they are speaking to and using the appropriate language. In the basic phases, students are still, their audience is still their friends, so they're still learning basic language, but if they have to write a letter to the principle, then they need to know how to address the principle. And D is basically the language, the grammar, the vocabulary. So write and speak using basic range of vocabulary. And this is something that we would have to define to the students. Look, we need to know how to use the present tense very well. You need to know how to use the verb to be. You need to know how to use these words. We would like to see you using these range of words in your speech. Organize basic information and use language to suit the context. So once more, here's the statement of inquiry, because I'm going to now look at the assessments. So A is comprehending spoken and visual text. This is the assessment objective. And yeah, students will watch a video about a superhero, and they will answer questions about the facts, the message, about the conventions, and they will use the data from the video to give their opinion or to answer questions about that. C and D, going here down here to C and D, is presenting the project. So the MYP, trying to quickly explain, the MYP has something called projects for service as actions that student take action. So we call student driven, is that the student chooses to take action, and student creates a project or is part of a project that came from their own initiative. So what I can do is help them with some projects put out there, some ideas for project, and students can take action. And it's not assessed. I don't grade what they did, their action that they take, but after they take action, I can ask them to present this project to the class, and then they create a presentation of an action that they did, of something that they have done, and then their communication, when they are communicating what they have done, that is something that I can assess using C and D. But if students decide that they don't want to take action, to use the projects, to use these projects as a source as action, then we can do it in class, and then it becomes a project-based lesson. And that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your feedback.